Hey everyone, welcome back to Metanoia. My name is Carrie Jane, and I kind of got a video request the other day when I posted my video on the channel update and just asking you guys how you're doing. Someone, I think Tyler was your name, hi Tyler, wants to know my opinion, I guess, on psychedelics, wants to know what I think about that, and I'm not sure if Tyler was asking if he wants to know my personal opinion, like as in regarding me taking psychedelics, like my thoughts on that, or what I think about it as a whole, like the world, the psychedelics in the world. So I'm just going to assume that it could potentially be some mixture of both, and I'm going to talk about that today. While I'm outside, it's quite chilly, honestly. It is only March still, but I'm stubborn, and vitamin D is good for your immune system and, just your general mental sanity. So I'm being very stubborn today and trying to get outside even though it's kind of cold. So if I have the sniffles, that's why. Don't worry. But yeah, anyway, so psychedelics. What a huge topic that is. There's so much that encompasses. There's so much that could be said about that. I will start off right off the bat that I think psychedelics are really good in therapy uses regarding traumas. So I am really, really happy that psychedelics are becoming more popular for those uses, for treating things like PTSD and severe traumas. And the reason why it's so good at treating those things is because psychedelics they're very confrontational. There's no avoiding anything when you take these substances. You're thrown into some difficult situations, and if you try to avoid it while you're going through that trip, often it gets worse, and the only way out is through, really. And the level of healing that comes from that, I can see why not much else can replace that, you know? So in regards to using psychedelics in professional settings where you have someone in the room with you to guide you and make sure that it doesn't go bad, and it's done in an environment like that where it's really just for healing, I'm all for that. As far as personal use for psychedelics, just on a personal note, I've never taken any kind of psychedelic before. I don't want to, and that's just because I'm already quite disembodied from myself. I think I am potentially one of the few people who run the risk of having some sort of lapse into schizophrenia, just because I already have quite I don't know how to put it, like I'm not in my body all the time. I'm very much aware, let's just say, of the world beyond this one, the things that we cannot see with our eyeballs. I have been since I was very young, and I'm not that kind of stereotypical person in the New Age community who talks about like how they saw ghosts and dead people when they were young, and they were just so special and gifted that they, were so sensitive to these things and things like that. Like, I'm not that kind of person. I've never really, as far as I know, seen something that was not quite there, but still was still a very sensitive child and had a lot of really strange experiences when I was very young that I had actually pushed out of my memories because I didn't know how to deal with them. They were like too beyond me for me to be able to comprehend as a child, and I definitely didn't have anyone to go to in my adult life about it. So I've had honestly a lot of psychedelic experiences without the use of any substances. And I feel like a lot of dreams I've had were kind of like trips. The way that they were detailed and the crazy layered bizarre things that I like see in some of my dreams sometimes are, I feel like, enough for me to have gone through certain levels of healing and definitely certain levels of internal confrontation and objectivity, basically just, I don't know. I have a firm sense of who I am. I can see the world for what it is. I don't think I need to be shaken out of anything in the way that psychedelics does for us and helps us. Like I don't know why, but I'm the kind of person that am naturally like that. And let me know if you'd want to hear some of the experiences I had as a child. I'd be happy to share that with you, but I don't want to make this video too long for you guys, so I'll skip over that. But yeah, my brother, he's a bit of a psychonaut, and he swears by psychedelics. Like he's a 5 life path. He's a escape artist, like me, and like a lot of us 5 life paths, and he swears by psychedelics. He's one of these many people now who think every single person on the planet should be taking psychedelics to help us get out of this paradigm that we're in. I think for the most part it's the only way out, and I can kind of see why. He feels that way, honestly, especially coming from, like, this is a little bit personal, like the family that we came from, and then using that experience and then looking at the world as a whole, seeing the patterns, seeing how stuck people are, seeing how the human condition is a disability. It does kind of seem that perhaps for many people, if not everyone here, the only way out of their, whether it be traumas or just, I don't even know how to put it, like unconsciousness, just general unconsciousness, the only way out potentially just could be through forcing their psyche into these journeys, because they can't get there on their own. And I just, my opinion is always evolving. I don't know if it'll be something different later on, but I don't understand why some people, or most people really, just can't get there on their own. Because I grew up as a human being naturally extremely aware and extremely curious of this world, I don't know how people are like this personally. Because I've never known that. I didn't like really have too much of this so-called awakening that everyone speaks of, because I kind of just came into the world seeing things in a very different way already. I guess I'm just an anomaly, a genetic anomaly in this way. But I truly feel that people should first find a way to get to these higher states of consciousness on their own before trying psychedelics. I think meditation is better, personally. I do think that learning how to get there, and we really can get there through perhaps maybe other avenues like lucid dreaming. That's a huge thing to explore, things like that. I think we need to figure out how to get there without any external use of substances. And I'm willing to admit it seems that most people maybe can't with just meditation alone, or through someone showing them an alternative way of thinking. They can't for whatever reason. I have no idea why. I will never, well, maybe I won't never, but it doesn't seem like I'm gonna be understanding that anytime soon. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that for now. So just to quickly summarize everything I just said, I want to ask you guys the question, should we need an external substance to do something that we're naturally capable of already? That is an honest question that I'm putting out there. It's not something that I have a firm answer on with confidence. It's something that I'm asking you guys that I would like to hear your opinion of. And of course, nothing is black and white. I'm sure the answer is somewhere in the middle. Yes and no answers are usually very limiting, as there's almost always a gray area, there's always a it depends, always. But still, I think a question worth asking, because it's going to open up a discussion I think that's we need to have as a human race. So ask your family members that next Thanksgiving. Of course, if they're like my family members or like most human beings, they won't really have much of an opinion on that because their experience will be limited with it. And like I said before, it is because of that I can see why my brother is like, well, how about we just spike your drink? You'll have an experience that you've never had before, and you'll never be able to go back to the same way you were before. Man, it's a tricky situation. And I think that's personally, if we rely on these drugs to get to these places, we're not doing the work that I think we came here to do. Not the entire thing, If that opens us up to a whole other world that we want to investigate and no longer ignore for the rest of our lives, then perhaps every single human being should be taking these substances. But if we need that all the time to have an experience, if you need to be on DMT to enjoy music, like, I just don't get that. I can do it without it. I can have a transcendental experience sitting here talking to you guys with the sun on my face. All I have to do is sit here and look at a blade of grass and think, what is it like to be a blade of grass? What is it like to be a rock? What is it like to be a photon? And I've been doing that as long as I can remember, and that's how I'm talking to you right now about consciousness through an iPhone in the middle of a pandemic. So I would love to hear your guys' opinion. I'm not like, this isn't an opinion I'm extremely passionate about, like this is something that I feel like I could have a discussion about without easily getting angry about it. I really do just want to hear what you guys have to think about it. So yeah, mention your thoughts down in the comments as always. Like these videos and subscribe to my channel, please, if you haven't done so already. And I hope that while we're in these very difficult times where we're sheltered a bit, we can still capture these beautiful moments, whether it be sitting here in the sunshine or in your home listening to a beautiful album, or at cooking a meal or whatever. You can have these brief moments of positive transcendence. I really do, because as we're slowing down, as we're forced to be slowed down, this is a great opportunity to do that kind of work and to be in those kind of states and to ascend as a human race, not just individually, really. That is the goal. So I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.